Good evening to all of you. This is the second night of Dharma talks. And our Baba Chan said the title is Full Loop Soul in Daily Life. I'm also a Baba, so I don't know Chinese. I know it is prosperity, status and longevity. The title in daily life. This prosperity, status, longevity, prosperity is Phu. I put here Phu. Hokkien is Hock. Phok in Cantonese. And tomorrow's night is supposed to be Quat. It's also the same. Prosperity. So that's why tomorrow the subject is almost the same as tonight. So I've changed the topic for tomorrow to why choosing development is so important. Bhavana. Okay, so tonight we're talking about good luck. Everybody wants good luck. But we know the law of karma vipaka governs our life. So, good luck doesn't come easy. As I like to say, good things are not cheap, cheap things are not good. So, we have to work for everything we want. The Buddha said, whatever we want, prayers will not get us what we want. Vows will not get us what we want. Crying for it also, you will not get what you want. The Buddha said, if you can get what you want, why is there so much suffering in the world? Hell beings are crying every day. They are being cut, they are being burned and all that. Who is helping them? Nobody is helping them. Ghosts are crying every night. They go hungry, walking along the streets at night, nothing to eat. Have to eat dead frog, dead chicken, carcass of a dog, carcass of a buffalo, and if there's nothing to eat, they have to go to the toilet. That's why sometimes if you go to old hotels or old rest house, at night if you go to the toilet, you find all your hair stand up. Because there's somebody there waiting because he's very hungry. So, there is a sutta, Chula Kamma Vibhanga Sutta, Majjhima Nikaya 135. Somebody asked the Buddha, why is it people are born different in the world? Some people are born beautiful, some people are born ugly, some people are born very healthy, like the footballers, and some are very weak, sick all their life. Some people are born intelligent, some people are born stupid, even what they call it, Down syndrome. Some people have a happy life, some people don't have a happy life. Some people have a very smooth life, everything they want they can get. Some people have a lot of karmic obstructions. Some people die young, some people die old. So we asked the Buddha, why is it? So the Buddha said, it is karma that determines our life. So the Buddha said, if you want prosperity, you have to be generous, you have to practice charity. If you help those who need help, next time when you need help, you get it easily. Those people who have status or famous, the Buddha said they are big-hearted. They are not jealous of other people's gains. Those people who have long life is because they don't kill. So karma, there are many accounts. So there are some people, for example, rich, so they like to go hunting. They buy guns to go and shoot wild boar. They enjoy shooting. Then one day, maybe because of that killing karma, they have cancer. And then they think, oh, now I have cancer, I must do a lot of good. So he does a lot of charity. But that won't save his life. Why? Charity, generosity is different account. Killing is different account. You do charity, you easy to have a livelihood lah. Cari makan easy lah. But if you kill, you make beings have short life. It's a totally different thing. You cannot pay for life with money. Suppose somebody made you a bargain. I will give you all the money in the world. I want to buy your life. You want or not? All the money in the world also you don't want. Life to us is the most important thing. Yeah. So if you kill a human being, the human being will think, I will take revenge. If I come back as a ghost also, I'll look for you. Yeah. Animals may not think like that, but animals will still have a grudge if you kill. So, in fact, killing is one of the heaviest karma. So this prosperity, status, longevity, there is a little similar term in Pali. It's called Ayuvano Sukang Balang. Ayu is long life, Vano is beautiful, Sukang is happy, Balang is strength. So in the Anguttara Nikaya 4.57 and 4.58, the Buddha went to a lay person's house for a meal. So after the meal, the Buddha normally gives the blessings by a short Dhamma talk. Not chanting like nowadays. Usually they give a short Dhamma talk. That is a real blessing. So in one case, the Buddha went to this lady Supavasa's house. So after the meal, the Buddha told her, Supavasa, by giving food to a monk, you give 4 things. Ayuvano Sukang Balang. Because of good food, he lives longer. Because of good food, his body looks more beautiful. Because of good food, he is happy. Because of good food, he is stronger. So the Buddha said, you will receive the same thing in future. So that's why this term Ayuvano Sukang Balang occurs quite frequently. Like in our Pali chants, sometimes we chant that. So by doing dana, charity or generosity, we get quite a lot of benefits. Like in this case, long life, beauty, happiness, strength, etc. Now, if you give to a person and that person is virtuous, the merit that you get is more than you give to a person who is immoral, who does not keep his precept. For example, you give to a monk, the merit would be more than you give to a drug addict, for example. So, in the Majjhima Nikaya 142, or the Dakkhina Vibhanga Sutta, the Buddha said there are 14 kinds of personal offerings. Making offerings to a person or a being, there are 14 kinds. The highest is to give to a Sama Sambuddha. The second is to give to a Pacheka Buddha. And the third is to give to an Arahant disciple. These 3 persons, Sama Sambuddha, Pacheka Buddha, Arahant disciples, all of them are considered Arahants. fourth path Arya. They have finished their work. They have become totally enlightened. The difference between a Buddha and an Arahant disciple is that the Buddha is self-enlightened. In his last life, he does not have a teacher. So like our Buddha, Gautama, he struggled extremely hard. He struggled so hard. The Buddha said, you cannot find another person on the spiritual path who suffered more than him. All kinds of ascetic practices he practiced because you are so sincere to get enlightenment. To the extent, sometimes this is described in Majjhima Nikaya Sutta 12. The Buddha said at one time he was eating specific types of food, only a particular type of fruit or a particular type of grain. Another time he tried one of these, one after another. Then he finds it does not succeed, he will try something else. So at one time he said he was eating cow shit. He will follow the cows. So he follows the cows, and whenever the cow shit, he will take that to eat. In India, cow shit is something that is valuable. They use it to patch their walls. They use it to burn dry one. They burn, make fire, etc. In India, the cow is a holy animal. So after some time, he also gave that up. And then the worst was there's a time when he ate his own shit. Drank his own urine, ate his own shit. We can't do it. Not only we can't do it, even animals also can't do it. You see dogs, because of their past karma, you give them a lot of food. When they go out, when they find human dung, they will eat. Maybe because in the past life they have been a ghost, a hungry ghost. So dog will eat human shit. But you ask the dog to eat his own shit, also he won't eat. Yeah, but the Buddha managed to eat his own shit. His will was so strong. And then he starved himself until he became so weak. His eyes sunk in. He said it came to a state now where he ate 1 grain of rice a day. 1 grain. How many grains do we eat? We eat hundreds of grains, yeah? He ate only 1 grain a day. So he became so thin, he said, when he touched his stomach, he had no stomach. He touched his stomach, he could feel his spine. Then his backside, totally no flesh. And all his rib bones stood out. So one day he went to the stream to wash his face. Only a few inches of water, He fell into the stream. He could not push himself out of the stream. So weak. So he was drowning. In just a few inches of water, he was drowning. Then the cowgirl came by, saw him. Then the cowgirl pulled him up and then gave him milk rice. And he sat down there, and then he realized he nearly died. 6 years of struggle, if he had died, all useless. So he decided to eat 1 meal a day. Go the middle way. So, because it is very difficult for a Buddha to become enlightened, having no teacher, the merit of giving to a Buddha is higher than giving to an Arahant disciple. Arahant disciple, he has a teacher, so he doesn't have to struggle so hard. Then the fourth person after the Arahant is the fourth path attainer. Then after that, third fruit attainer, Anagamin. And below that, third path attainer. Then after that, second fruit attainer, Sakadagamin. And after that, second path attainer. Then first fruit, Sotapanna. And then first path. And then the 11th is an external sect follower free from lust for sensual pleasures. That's external sect, yogi who is attained jhanas. And then number 12 is a virtuous ordinary worldling, putujana. 13 is an immoral putujana. 14 is an animal. So this is the order of blessings that you get from giving to a person or a being. So in this sutta, you notice you can give to a path attainer. First path, second path, third path, fourth path attainer. This means that the path attainer does not exist for one conscious moment. In the Abhidhamma, they say that the path attainer only exists for one conscious moment. Immediately after that, he becomes a fruit attainer. That's why people who don't study the suttas don't realize there are many contradictions between later books like the Abhidhamma and the early suttas. Now also in that same sutta, I think I mentioned last night, the result of giving a gift to an animal is expected to return 100-fold. Suppose you give a plate of rice to an animal, you can expect to get back 100 times what you gave. Then if you give to an immoral ordinary worldling, you can get back 1,000 times what you gave. Number 3, if you give to a virtuous ordinary worldling, you can expect to get back 100,000 times what you gave to that person. And then if you give to an external sect recluse, free from lust for sensual pleasures, you can expect to get back 100,000 times 100,000 of what you gave. And then if you give to the lowest Arya, the first path attainer, the repayment is incalculable. Boundless merit if you give to an Arya. But if you give to 100 first path attainers, the blessings is not as great as giving to one first fruit attainer, Sotapanna. And you give to 100 first fruit attainer, the merit cannot compare to giving to one second path attainer. Similarly, 100 second path attainers cannot compare to one second fruit. 100 second fruit cannot compare to one third path. 100 third path cannot compare to one third fruit. 100 third fruit cannot compare to one fourth path. 100 fourth path cannot compare to one fourth fruit. And one fourth fruit is either the Arahant disciple or Pacheka Buddha or Sammasambuddha. Now in the Kuttadanta Sutta, which is in the Digha Nikaya, Sutta number 5, it's also said about praying to Devas. This Brahmin, he wanted to pray to Devas and make offerings to the Devas. And then the Buddha said, if you make offerings, don't kill animals. Make bloodless offerings. You can offer butter, milk, ghee, honey, molasses, etc. That is more meritorious than killing animals to offer. Then the man asked, is there a higher giving? The Buddha said, yes. Higher than giving to heaven is to give regularly to virtuous ascetics. In Buddhist countries like Thailand, every day you find monks walking on the road, Pindapata. So if regularly you give to these monks, the merit is much higher than giving to heaven, praying to the Devas. And then higher than giving to virtuous ascetics is to provide a dwelling for the Sangha. If you provide a dwelling for the Sangha or build a monastery for the Sangha, you are perpetuating the Sangha. And if the Sangha continues, then the Dhamma will still be around, because it is the Sangha that upholds the Dhamma, teaches the Dhamma. So the highest material giving is to build a dwelling for the Sangha, either one dwelling or more. But higher merit than that is to take refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. And higher than that is to uphold the 5 precepts, because, in other words, become a lay Buddhist. And higher merit than that is to go forth into the homeless life and practice charana. Charana is practice or conduct of a monastic, meaning keeping your sila, practicing contentment, having few wants, and then guarding the 6 sense doors, be moderate in eating, jagaraya no yoga, devoted to wakefulness, not to sleep so much, practice seclusion, and then meditate and attain the jhanas. This is charana. Then higher than charana, the practice or conduct of a monk or nun is to attain the higher knowledges, abhinya. There are 6 higher knowledges. 5 of these are psychic powers. And the 6th, the last one, is destruction of the asavas. Destruction of the asavas means attainment of enlightenment, attainment of arahanthood. Asavas are uncontrolled mental flows. Our mind is flowing all the time. Consciousness is flowing all the time. And this flow is very strong. It is so strong that when you are not doing anything, you start to think. You start to daydream. You start to fantasize. Think about this, think about that. And then when you want to go to sleep, you have to turn off this thinking. If you cannot turn off this thinking, at night you find you cannot go to sleep. For example, somebody says something nasty to you and you get so angry. And you keep thinking of it all the time. When you go to sleep, you can't sleep because you are thinking of it. So you have to turn off this computer before you can sleep. So if even after you fall asleep, very soon you start dreaming. You see, this flow of consciousness is so strong. You fall asleep, also it won't let you rest. It will continue to make you dream. So it is this one, this flow that creates samsara. Because when our mind starts working, it creates the world. The whole world is only in consciousness. We think the world is out there. The world is not out there. How do we know the world exists? We know the world exists because we see, we hear, we smell, taste, touch. That is the outer world. And thinking produces the inner world. Okay? So, when we see, we think the eye sees. But it's not the eye that sees. It is consciousness that sees. When light particles impinge on our retina, this seeing consciousness arises. And when the seeing consciousness arises, we see the world. So actually we see the world in consciousness. But where is the consciousness? Consciousness is not out there, consciousness is inside us. So the whole world that we see actually is inside us. All the hearing also is inside us. So it is the consciousness that creates the world. So an arahant is one who has stopped the flow of this consciousness. Because he has stopped the flow of consciousness, when an arahant passes away, the consciousness does not flow anymore. So when the consciousness does not flow anymore, the world dissolves. No world appears anymore. So